The strange thing about Apple's website is that almost nothing about it is trying too hard. And that's exactly why it works. Most modern websites are obsessed with trying to feel impressive. Everything moves, everything animates, every section fights for your attention. You feel amazed but lost at the same time, and you are lost for two different reasons. First, because everything looks cool, so your attention goes to the effects instead of the actual content. But second, you don't even know what you're supposed to be looking at anymore because there's too much happening at once. And when that happens, the website has already failed at the most important thing, clarity. A website is supposed to guide people, inform people, tell a story, promote something, not overwhelm them. And on top of that, all of those animations and effects usually make websites heavier and slower, which also hurts performance and SEO and eventually translates into lower rankings. And after a while, a lot of websites start feeling the same, not because they look bad, but because they try too hard to feel modern. Luxury brands rarely try to scream for attention, and that's exactly what a lot of modern websites still don't understand. If you compare Apple's website to a random startup website, the difference becomes obvious almost immediately. Most startup websites feel like they are trying to prove something. The page loads, and within seconds, you already have glowing gradients, moving cards, massive headlines, animated counters, floating graphics, endless sections, and 10 different things asking for your attention at once. Everything is designed to feel innovative, but instead of creating clarity, it creates noise. A lot of AI websites especially started looking identical. Dark backgrounds, purple gradients, glass effects, tiny grid patterns, floating dashboards, and headlines talking about revolutionizing workflows with AI. And after a while, none of them feel unique anymore. They feel like different versions of the same template. Agency websites do this too. Huge animations, over-designed transitions, crazy effects just to show that they can. But good design is not about showing how much you can add. It's about knowing what should not be there in the first place. That's the difference with Apple. Apple's website doesn't feel desperate for attention. It feels comfortable without it. And ironically, that confidence is exactly what makes people pay attention. Apple does the opposite of most modern websites. Instead of adding more, it removes anything that creates distraction. Apple has been using this philosophy with iPhones for years. And honestly, I think that's one of the biggest reasons why their products became so successful in the first place. They applied the exact same logic to their website. The focus is always on clarity. You immediately know what you're looking at. Nothing is competing for your attention. The layout guides your eyes naturally from headline to product to action. Everything feels intentional, not decorative. And the interesting part is, it doesn't feel empty or boring. It feels confident. Because Apple doesn't rely on effects to communicate quality. It relies on structure, spacing, and hierarchy. And that's where the difference becomes obvious. Apple still uses animations, sliders, navigation opening, and subtle hover interactions are all there. But the difference is that their animations support the experience instead of trying to become the experience. And speaking of that, there are actually two things I would personally change on Apple's website, but maybe that's something for a future video if people are interested. Apple feels premium because nothing interrupts how you think while using it. Everything is presented with just enough information, not more, not less. White space isn't treated as something boring or as dead space. It's treated as part of the design itself. You're never forced to figure out what matters. It's already clear. And most people don't even notice how carefully the website is guiding their attention exactly where Apple wants it to go. You move through the page without effort. And because there's no friction, you stop noticing the website itself and start focusing on the product. That shift is what creates the premium feeling. Most websites don't fail because they are ugly. They fail because they try to do too much at once. They add animations to feel modern. They add sections to look complete. They add effects to impress instead of communicate. But in that process, clarity gets lost. Design starts competing with itself. Every element tries to be noticed at the same time. And when everything is important, nothing actually is. Good web design is not about adding more. It's about knowing what to leave out. Apple doesn't feel premium because it is complex. It feels premium because it is controlled. So if you enjoy this kind of breakdown of design and websites, feel free to subscribe. It would really mean a lot. I'll probably make more videos like this, where we look at what actually makes good web design work, but more importantly, why it actually works.